Yo, what is up guys, it's Pedro here, and in today's video I will be reacting to some Hard Knocks clips from the last couple weeks where originally a lot of people were overreacting and getting on Jayden Daniels for a clip that the Giants showed about him in the film room, but now another clip came out and actually the Giants were very interested in trading up for Jayden Daniels. So we're going to talk about that in today's video. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button and the notification bell as well so you never miss a video, and comment down below what you guys have thought about Hard Knocks so far and if you would be interested in the Washington Commanders being on Hard Knocks at some point. And all, comments help. And again, we're very close to, 13,000 subscribers, 150 away. We haven't hit a, milestone, I think, all year. So let's get there. Let's get there. It takes 1 second. But this came out a week ago, week 2 of Hard Knocks. And a lot of people, some people made videos about it. I think I saw 1 or 2. I'm not completely sure. But it was basically a 40-second clip from Hard Knocks, and it was a little bit longer. I actually watched the full episode today, and it was them going through the combine interviews, and basically a lot of people were making a big deal of how Jayden Daniels did in his film thing, and then how Drake May did, and the big difference in between, or between the two guys. And Jayden, it was basically Brian asked him to recall a play, and he got most of it right, maybe 1 or 2 words wrong of it, but he also paused for a little bit, so that's probably what made him forget that one part. If you guys want to see what I'm talking about, go ahead and watch the whole thing. The clip's here, but probably some copyright issues there, so I don't want to play it for you guys. But then he also was asked, what are you gonna do on this play if it's cover 1? And then Jayden just said, I'm going to throw a touchdown or whatever. And some people were like, he didn't really give an answer. Hey, that answer is fine by me. We also didn't see the full clip. Probably there could have been something cut out, but a lot of people were making a big deal out of it. I didn't, think it was a big deal at all. And then guess who else did not think it was a big deal? Brian Daboll, who is the New York Giants head coach. So it came out this week, or at the end of this episode, they were talking about they do these teasers, right? And Brian Daboll is shown saying he'd be cool with trading up for he would want to trade up for Jayden Daniels at number 2 or number 3, I guess, wherever they wanted to trade up for. So that shows that what happened in the film room there, he either liked it or he just didn't care. He didn't care what he saw there. But from what they were talking about, Brian Daboll, especially in the second episode, he said those meetings were very important. So if he's willing to trade up to number 2 or number 3 or number 4 to get Jayden Daniels, and you're not going to get him anyways because we got him at 2, but if you were going to try to get him, you would probably have to go to number 3. You're not going to trade up for a guy that you don't feel good about in the film room as well, and Brian Daboll clearly did. And this is, a lot of people are saying, Hard Knocks kind of exposed Jayden Daniels here, blah, blah, blah. But now it's kind of going the other way around. Not necessarily, and this is kind of the title, so don't get mad if you see Jayden Daniels exposed or whatever in the title. But instead of, Jayden Daniels looking bad, it's really the Giants, because they are interested in trading up for Drake May, for, Jayden Daniels. And now they're stuck with Daniel Jones, and not only just stuck with him, he's on a $40 million per year contract, and you wanted to trade up for guys. Like in the second episode as well, Joe Shane was wanted to move up to 3 at the combine, was talking with the Patriots, at least was interested in potentially moving up. Obviously the Patriots stood pat and took number 3, no pun intended there, or took Drake May at number 3, and the Giants didn't have that opportunity to trade up, because if they did, they would probably take a quarterback. And I don't know who they preferred out of the 3, Caleb, Jayden, and Drake. I don't know what order they had those 3 in, but seems like they were very comfortable with all 3, and they wanted any of those 3, and now they're stuck with Daniel Jones, who, first off, I've never been a huge fan of. I've never thought he was that good. And you not only pair that with paying him $40 million a year, plus this guy is the most injury-prone quarterback in the league, I think. I mean, you look at his stats, he is always injured, and I was looking something up for a thumbnail here, but you look at Daniel Jones' stats, and this is turning into somewhat of not a Commanders video, but kind of is at the same time. There are some other good tidbits for some Commanders players that I want to talk about a little bit later on in this video, so stay tuned for that. If we look at Daniel Jones, this guy has very, very low durability. 13 games rookie year. I think Eli was there, so that doesn't count. But 2020 played in 14 games, then 11, then in 16, then in 6. And for a quarterback, that's just not good, man. That just is not good. Missing what he missed 1 game in 2022, that's not bad. Missing 6 games in 2021, or is that 5? I'm not sure. I forgot what year they started with the 17 games, and a couple in 2020, and then this year missed 11 games. That's a lot of football missing for a guy that you're paying a lot of money for. Maybe he's not the most injury-prone quarterback in the league, but because he runs so much, they have him running so much that he gets put in positions where he does get hurt a lot. So the Giants are in a tough situation because, their team isn't terrible. It really isn't. They have some good play. I mean, their offense is pretty rough. But their defense, they got Kayvon Thibodeau, who I think is a little overrated, but I was a fan out of him coming out of college. You got Dexter Lawrence, one of the best D tackles in all of football. They traded for Brian Burns. I thought that was a great move. They've got a solid defense. Bobby Okereke, they've got a good defense. But offensively, they've got some work to do. But the quarterback, they really aren't starting their rebuild until they get that quarterback. And Daniel Jones is not that guy. So that's something good with us versus them is we don't know if Jayden's that guy yet. We hope he is. But we're on our way. We're at least getting to the spot quicker than the Giants are because Daniel Jones – at best is a bridge guy for them. I just don't see a scenario where you're like, Daniel Jones is my franchise quarterback. I just don't see it. He hasn't shown that he can be that guy. And the Commanders, again, they already drafted their quarterback, and they're a little bit ahead of where the New York Giants are because even if the roster looks good this year, they're going to have to draft a quarterback or trade for a quarterback next year, and that just delays everything by a year until you get the quarterback that you're wanting. So yeah, we're gonna see. And then there's a couple other things in the Hard Knocks. They were talking about Sam Hartman a little bit, or they showed Sam Hartman a little bit doing some throwing, I believe, and maybe not throwing, but he's running at the combine. And they talked about how, they liked how he was the only quarterback that ran, shows that he's there to compete. So that's good. And so, yeah, you see a little bit of insight there. Maybe we'll see some more information as well. They were talking about Eckler a little bit, not really in depth, but just as one of the top running backs in free agency that, maybe they're going to look after. They went out and got Devin Singletary, who played with the Bills before, who Brian Dable and Joe Shane were both there for. So, basically, this is a bunch of nothing, but I know some people wanted, or some people were talking about it a week ago, and that's why I always, just wait and see what happens. And this stuff is never a big deal, but some people like to make it a big deal, and now I'll make it a little bit of a big deal because people were overreacting. Not a lot of Commanders fans, but some Giants fans, some other NFL fans were overreacting, saying, "Ha ha ha!" Jayden looks stupid here, and now it kind of backfires on them because they wanted him. They wanted to trade up. Not only wanted him, they wanted to trade up for him. So it kind of makes the Giants look a little bit silly there, or at least the people that were saying that Jayden looks silly. And our Giants fans are looking a little bit silly now. Way over analyzing it, but just to show this stuff doesn't matter, guys. It really doesn't. But Giants were interested in Jayden Daniels. It's good, I guess, to hear that another team was very interested in our guy, but weren't able to get him. And hey, guess what? They're gonna have to play him twice a year, hopefully for the next 15 years. That would be amazing. But yeah, that is it for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, hit that like button and comment down below. This one, I'm expecting a lot of comments. Taylor Heineke, fan favorite, one of my favorite players ever. Wasn't an amazing quarterback, but a really cool guy. One of the nicest guys out there. Just super, super cool. And I remember at training camp, literally signed every single guy's every single fan's autograph for them. So that was really cool. Took pictures and stuff. And hey, shout out Joe here, D1 Jayden Daniels hater. And yeah, that's it for today's video. Peace, guys.